This is a really meaningful video for me that I'm making right now. And to get to the root of this story, we're gonna have to start from the very, very beginning. First time I saw her was on campus. We went to Emory College together at Emory University. And at Oxford College, there's a cafeteria. It's called Lil's. I'm sitting there eating my breakfast. Probably about a table away, I see this girl stand up, and at Lil's, it's like this huge, like massive, like wall of windows, and the sun was shining really bright. Her back was against the window, and literally the sun was just like glistening against her, and I could see like it was like the movies, like slow motion. I couldn't help but notice her. And I was like, wow, that is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. You know, time passes. I've always been kind of to myself a lone wolf type of person, not a lot of friends. But I was walking through campus with my buddy Wellington, who's the opposite of me. He knew everybody, he was friends with everybody, so popular, he still is. Walking through campus, we're going through the quad. I see April, and she's like sunbathing or studying, or I don't know what she's doing. She's laying in the quad. She's with her roommate Tracy. Wellington, knowing everyone, obviously knows her, and he introduces me to April. So that's the first time we shook hands. We met, exchanged pleasantries, and then I went about my day. Next time I saw her and got to have like a more lengthy interaction was at a dorm party. And at this dorm party, like I said, she's beautiful, so there were definitely a lot of guys interested in her there, I could tell. And I could also tell she's like really feeling herself, which was kind of a turnoff for me. I wasn't feeling her feeling herself. And so this whole idea of like wanting to talk to her, you know, like romantically, or like, you know, trying to get her number, whatever, that feeling dissipated, because I was like, okay, she's into herself, she likes guys' attentions, that's what she's into, I'm not really about that. And that was kind of it. Well, like I said, it's a small campus, so we're always running into each other. We have a lot of mutual friends. And by that point, like, yeah, we weren't best friends, but we were definitely friends. We also ran in like different social circles. She hung out with her friends, I hung out with mine. And when we saw each other, we saw each other. That was really it. We probably became closer friends when we ended up in journalism class together and we're sitting next to each other. So obviously when you have class together and you sit next to each other, you kind of naturally become closer. Started hanging out a little bit more. I even taught her how to smoke cigarettes on the top of our dorm. But really it was when we transferred over to the main campus at Emory College is when we got like really super tight, because when we moved over, we were in the same dorm building again, and her dorm was actually right above mine. Like, I just had to walk up one flight of stairs, and then that was her dorm. I remember I was like really hungry. I walked up that flight of stairs, and I don't know how to cook anything. I'm broke as shit. I don't even have money to eat. Knock on her door, and I'm like, hey, is there any way that you could feed me? I don't know what the hell I was thinking, why I would even like think that someone would be willing to do that. But anyways, she obliged. She made me macaroni and cheese, and from that point forward we just started hanging out all the time as friends, and we were inseparable. But I can say, like, hand on heart, that I did not have any kind of romantic feelings for her. I was not interested in dating her. It was not something that was really on my mind. Yes, I could recognize that she was pretty, but it just didn't seem, it really was like friends. Now on her side of things, I can't tell you what was on her mind, but for me, it's legit. One of the things that made me like realize that dating April was probably not a good idea was that she was actually really popular with the guys. So she was always dating this guy or that guy, and you know, it just didn't seem like she even wanted to be in a relationship. I also had a girlfriend, but I was a dog at the time, so I was always looking around. And what we were doing for each other, we'd go out together all the time, party together all the time, and we'd be each other's wingmen. So I felt like, I could introduce her to a really high quality guys. There's a lot of future doctors at Emory. So I had friends that were interested in her, so I tried to hook her up. She had friends that were interested in me, and she tried to hook us up. And this is kind of messed up, but we kind of did our friends wrong, and eventually we linked up with each other instead, even after like telling all these people like, no, we would never date each other. That's just not in the cards for us. Oh, that's so gross. I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Or that's what she would say about me, at least. And then end up dating each other. I felt a little embarrassing, a little bashful, but that's kind of how it went. We start dating, starts getting really serious, but one of the things I think it's important to mention is that she specifically came from Texas to Atlanta, and specifically Emory University, because she had this lifelong goal of becoming a doctor. We're in her senior year. She's applying to med school. I went to Emory because I lived in Georgia, and I'm always about being the best at what I can do, being the best that I can be, and doing the best at whatever it is that I do. Emory is like the best academic school, the most prestigious academic school in the States, so that's why I wanted to go there. But while I'm there, I develop my writing skills more, and I have this passion to become a writer, so I intended to pursue my master's in fine arts. And her schools that she's trying to apply to are on different sides of the country than the schools that I'm applying to. And I don't know, I just kind of had this feeling that when I started dating April, is that I wanted to marry her, and long distance just didn't seem like an option. But I just knew that this is the person that I wanted to marry. And so it really made me rethink, okay, what are my goals? I can't really put my finger on exactly what made me want to marry April, when we first started dating. I mean, there's the obvious things, like I mentioned. I think she's beautiful, she's smart, she's ambitious, she can do some serious work in the kitchen, she has exquisite taste. I mean, just kind of all the things why a guy wants to marry a girl, I guess. It was all kind of checked off all the things on a list, but that's, it's almost arbitrary in a way. But if I really think about it, I'd say that I was an uber confident young man. I thought that I could take over the world, which was kind of ridiculous because I had nothing to validate that thought. I was confident for no reason. But April always had this crazy sense of faith and belief in me. She thought I was the greatest. She thought I was Justin Bieber, whoever was cool at the time. She just thought that I was this amazing person, and it kind of her thinking that about me and her desire in me almost validated my own confidence within myself. I think that there's something to be said about that. That saying behind every successful man is a woman, or a great woman. I don't even know what the saying is, but I think it's true. I think she really helped propel me into not just thinking that I'm a great man, but actually becoming, being a great man, and really becoming a great man. I really owe a lot of that to April, believing in me in such a young age when, I was just a broke college student. I had nothing to my name. So I want to marry her, but if she goes to med school, I go get my MFA, long distance. I just, you hear all the nightmare stories about it. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm certain that this is the woman I want to marry. So I remember hanging out in her dorm room one day, and I was like, hey, if you go to med school and I go pursue my master's in fine arts, we're in different locations. I just don't see how that's really going to work. Do you want to compromise, and you give up on that, and I give up on what I'm giving up on? I want to compromise and go to law school together. And without skipping a beat, she's like, let's do it. So, I mean, just think about that. This person, for her entire life, her lifelong goal was to become a medical doctor. And just like that, in one brief conversation, she changes her mind for me. And we end up going to law school together. I know her mom wasn't very happy about that decision, but in retrospect, it kind of worked out, sort of. She always talks about how April could still go to medical school to become a doctor, which is true, April. You could. So April and I, we graduate, we take a gap year, and during that gap year, we decide we're going to study for the LSAT and apply for law school. And I knew during that gap year that I wanted to propose to her and ask her to marry me, but like I said, I was broke. I had no money, I had nothing, I couldn't afford anything. And what my mom did was she took the ring off of her own finger. You know, my mom is a widow. She pulled her own ring off, gave it to me to give to April to ask her to marry me. You know, this ring is a beautiful ring. It's the ring that my father gave to my mother. It was a ring that there was no way that I could afford. I never felt the pressure of earning money and saving up enough to buy a ring. I never went through the dilemma of figuring out what kind of ring to buy, you know, what style, what cut, what carat. You know, everything that goes into buying the perfect ring for your girl, like, I never had to go through any of that because it just came so easy to me. My mom was just like, here you go. I never asked April's dad for permission to marry her. I never even got on my knee. Like, I was so oblivious to like the gravity of the situation because I think that I didn't have to work for anything. I didn't have to go through anything to get this ring, to ask April to marry me. You know, it was just given to me. One thing for certain is I am not romantic. I was not romantic then. I wasn't ever romantic. I'm not romantic now. I will probably never, ever be romantic. So I have this ring. It's in my pocket. I won't ever forget this night. We go to Golden Corral, eat buffet, stuff our faces, get bloated, drive back to our apartment, parking, and I'm like, okay, I guess this needs to be like kind of memorable. I was like, do you want to go for a walk? We start walking, but it's like windy, it's cold, and April's like, no, I don't want to go for a walk. So I'm like, okay. We go back up into the apartment, and then I was like, I know that this is supposed to be like a memorable like moment, but I'm still young, I'm still naive, immature, I'm not romantic, so I'm trying to figure out, like, I am creative though. So I was like, how do I make this moment memorable? So I was like, what if I put the ring over her nipple or around her nipple and ask her to marry me that way? Like, no one's gonna forget that, and what a crazy story that would be. So I'm like, April, get naked. She's like, no. So I'm like, okay, that doesn't work. But I don't have any patience either. This ring is burning a hole in my pocket. So I just take the ring out of my pocket and I hand it to her and I ask her to marry me. And she's just like, are you serious? Are you serious? And finally she says yes. And that was the moment. That's how I did it. Like, really just another day almost. I mean, it felt special at that moment, but looking back at it now, it's like, you know, where are the flowers? Where's the grand gesture? Where's like the, you know, the romance? Didn't exist. So the entire time I'm married to April, you know, I don't really even think twice about it until recently. You know, that ring it's a beautiful, beautiful ring. It has so much sentimental value. I love that ring on April's finger. That is the ring that my father bought for my mother. And she actually took the money out of his life insurance to give to my mom. The fact that she took it off of her finger to give to me, to give to April, it has much more significant meaning to me than just like value. You know, my dad passed shortly after giving that ring to my mom. So we intended for this ring to become a family heirloom, to pass down from generation to generation. That was April's ring, our family's ring, and that was that. The idea of replacing it never occurred to us. Until recently, one of my friends, one of my close friends, he got a ring for his wife. I remember him calling me, texting me, asking me for advice, asking me to like point him in direction, like, hey, I'm trying to get this ring, do you know anybody? And I saw how much effort he put into like getting this ring. And then I remember watching the video when he presents it to us, like, even the way he presented it to her, like, it was really beautiful. And I saw the people that were there, and I wondered, like, do these people, you know, does his wife even know, like, how much effort and energy that my friend exerted, you know, to make that occasion happen. It really made me think about when I proposed to my wife and how little how minimal effort that I put forth when proposing to my wife. It's not about the ring itself. It's the hard work, the sacrifice, the effort that a man has to put forth to get the ring on the finger. It's like a symbol of like how much your woman means to you. And when I look back and I just shared my proposal story to you guys, April means a lot more to me than that. And that moment that I provided, like, it would seem as if she meant nothing to me. That's how I felt. I got this kind of overwhelming sense of guilt. So 20 years later, I have this epiphany, this realization, and just keep in mind, we were engaged for like almost 5 years because we didn't want to get married until we finished law school. 15 years later of being married, I've become a successful attorney, a successful business owner, and I felt that it's only right now to put forth, that hard work and sacrifice of someone of my status and deliver a ring and moment that my wife deserves. You know what? I take that back. It's not about what my wife deserves, but I wanted to deliver a proposal and ring that reflects how much April means to me. Knowing what I know now that I didn't know then, I want a divorce. I want a do-over. Sorry for the clickbait. Obviously, getting remarried doesn't make, getting a divorce just to get remarried makes no sense whatsoever. But I do want to get on bended knee and propose to April and, show her this gesture of my willingness to make every sacrifice and do everything that I can for the woman of my dreams. When my dad died when I was 17, like it broke my family. I didn't even think it was possible to fix. But when April entered my life and my family's life, she somehow filled this emptiness that was in our family, and she just rejuvenated us in a way that I never knew was possible, and I didn't even truly recognize it till my sister mentioned it during her speech at our wedding. And April truly did she fixed me, she fixed my family. Obviously the loss of my father will, that will always be there, but she was able to just kind of bring us out of this really depressing stage, and not just like immediately or like with the snap of a finger, oh, April's here, so now we're not sad, but she brought this new life into us, and we all just started striving and becoming and just started elevating and living our lives. And April was a huge catalyst to that. Now it's 2025. It is on March 12th, 2025. It will be mine and April's 15th year anniversary. And also, I am 43 years old. 43 is the same age my dad died. And I will tell you that I have been deathly paranoid, deathly afraid and paranoid of turning 43 years old since I was 17, because I'm just like my dad, exactly like him. Personality, everything. So I almost felt certain that I also was only going to live until 43. And he died of a massive heart attack, and I have this fear of heartbeats. So when you're an expecting parent, there's this amazing moment when you go to the doctor's office and you get to hear your baby's heartbeat for the first time. I skipped that. I don't lay my head on my wife's chest, my children's chest, because I don't want to hear that heartbeat, because I'm so scared of listening to a heartbeat, because I think probably because my dad died of a massive heart attack. I'm almost positive that's why. All right, but here I am, alive at age 43, still kicking, and it makes me sad. Cause I'm 43 now. I know how old my dad. I know how old my dad was, and I know what stage in life he was at when he passed away. It makes me really sad to think about that. He had so much life to live. Life is so short. I don't even feel like I've lived that long. I have so much I want to do, so much more I want to accomplish, and to have already died really hits you in a really fucked up way. And I try now to just think about, every day past 43 is like a bonus, and I need to cherish each day, each moment, because this beautiful, miraculous thing called life, you only get one of them. And because I know that life is short, whether you're 43 or 103, I know it's important to make every single day count. And I think that's why I work so hard each and every day. But I want my wife to know that each and every day with her matters to me more than any career accomplishment, any material good I've ever attained. It matters to me more to the nth degree. There is no one else that I would rather share my life with. It is because of her and only her that I have lived the greatest life, greater than all the lives of all the greatest men of the world. I am not the most successful man. I am not the most richest man. I am not the most accomplished. I'm not the most famous, nor the most historic, but I am the only man married to April Scher. I get sad thinking about my dad. I watched him die. I watched him grasping for everything and nothing, desperately trying to hold on, just to cling on for dear life. And he died at such a young age. He was trying to hold on because I know he had so much more to do. He had so much more to say, and he left this dimension before he got the opportunity to do that. You know, he was so young. You know, he was 43, and now I'm 43. But April, Stella, Birdie, if you watch this, when I've passed and I've gone, I want you to know that I'm fulfilled, that I have nothing else that I need to do, and I have nothing else I need to say. And I want you to know that this ring that I gave to your mother is symbolic of that. This ring is my best attempt to symbolize my love for April. It's also symbolic of me being at peace with myself. There's nothing more that I have to attain. Anything else is merely a want. My life, as is right now, has been totally fulfilled. My life is defined by April. She is my wife. She is my life. And there's nothing else that matters to me. I love you, April. Happy 15-year anniversary. Now that we got like all the story behind it all done, check this out. Keeping this kind of a secret here. This box is a ring that took me a lot of effort, a lot of hard work, and a lot of sacrifice to make happen. I even sold my Ferrari. Oh, boo-hoo. You know, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I did make my sacrifices. So this is it. I cannot wait to get on bended knee and ask my wife to remain my wife for the rest of our lives. Pretty cool, right? You say I'm not romantic. That's pretty fucking romantic. No, not, well, we ate here first and then I proposed. You ready to eat some Golden Corral though?
Yeah. Where?
You need to pee, right?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. How was dinner?
Delicious.
Did it remind you of 15 years ago? Wait, no, it's longer than, it was like 20 years ago when I proposed.
2005? 2006? 2000, yeah, 2006. Oh my god. Is it sad that it doesn't fit?
Oh, it's too small? That's not good. You messed up the sizing? How do they do that?
Does it fit your pinky?
Or did it try? Let me see.
Ooh, I see it easily.
Can I see your yes.
Wow!
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Say happy anniversary to mom. Say happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.